What's going on? What's going on, smart movers? Smart movers, this is going to be pretty much an easy video for me today because that's all I'm going to do is just talk to you guys. We do have a couple things to report on, but we'll get that a little later in the video. If you're not already, why not be a part of the Smart Movers Club? It's a newsletter. I send a weekly email out just on where to go, what to know, and what 100K gets you. And it's really geared towards 35 years old and up individuals that maybe don't have the data or didn't know how to compile data, research, organize data to live better, work better. Okay, so that's all that is, where I give you where to go, what to know, and what 100K gets you, plus 10 gems. And this past week, 10 gems, we spoke about tax liens and we spoke about tax deeds, foreclosures. And it's so funny that I put that out and then all of a sudden I'm in Reddit and I'm looking around and this gentleman, he posts in side hustles, because the week before my 10 gems were side hustles, things that you could do, as we know, with inflation, with the uncertainty index, with VIX, with all of the things that's happening in our world right now. It brings a level of anxiety, uncertainty. You don't know what to do. You really want to move. You can't move. You're not sure. The money for down payment, first, last security, all of that. Like, you don't really want to take these big jumps anymore. AI's coming for your job, all of it. So you got to actually step a little more cautiously, and you got to know 100%. Like 10 years ago, you probably do the risky moves, and if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, you'll try again. You have a little bit more time in your 30s, but now you're like, let me pull back. There's so much uncertainty out here. The next move has to be the best move, or the next move has to be more calculated and less risky. So I was in Reddit, and a gentleman put up, hey, he puts a check up, and the check was for like $35,000, and that's the image that's up. And then it says, hey, if you want to get into wholesaling as a beginner, I could teach you how. And I always check how things are spelt, right? Beginner was spelt incorrectly, and I don't spell everything correct, but it's just like, these are the little clues that you got to pick up on, right? These little nuggets of information to let you know if you're dealing with a professional or not, right? So he puts, hey, on a beginner level, if you want to get into wholesaling, and I'll tell you what wholesaling is. If you want to get into wholesaling, I could teach you. And I guess, you could see the check. It's $35K. It's got 2 names on there, paid to the order, and the rest is blanked and blacked out. And some girl was like, I'm interested, And I thought about that, and I said, how easy is it in this scamming, low effort culture that we produced and we're in right now, is it to really get scammed? And I knew automatically and upfront that this was a scam artist. Why? Anyone that wants you to be in a program, in a Discord channel, to get a course, not saying everyone, but the majority of them, if they have to teach you what they've been doing, trust me, there's no one that will teach you as they're getting millions, or as they're getting hundreds of thousands, even as they're getting hundreds of dollars in a method or a way or a side hustle. They're not going to teach you. So you could go take some of that market share. It's just human nature. Let's talk about it. See, it's human nature is a real thing, right? It's trends, it's patterns, it's behaviors, it's recorded. And I could get into here and actually tell you that human nature won't allow an individual that's actually making money in something that will actually go tell you. So I'm going to come back with the exact human nature piece that relates to. And we found it. It is chapter 6, Elevate Your Perspective, the law of short-sightedness. This is the laws of human nature, Robert Greene. This is why people fall for scams. I am an anti-scam hero, right? I want to help as many people as I can not fall for shit like this. So let's dive into this to see why people fall for that. And then we're going to get a little bit more in this wholesaling and what happened when I came across the post. Let's go. All right, then. So as you can see, I got the PDF, I got the audiobook, and you've seen the big book in my hand. But let's get right to it. The law of short-sightedness. It is in the animal part of your nature to be most impressed by what you can see and hear in the present. The latest news report and trends, the opinions and actions of people around you, whatever seems the most dramatic. This is what makes you fall for alluring schemes that promise quick results and easy money. This is also what makes you overreact to present circumstances, becoming overly exhilarated or panicky as events turn one direction or the other. Learn to measure people by the narrowness or breadth of their vision. Avoid entangling yourself with those who cannot see the consequences of their actions, who are in a continual reactive mode. They will infect you with this energy. Your eyes must be on the larger trends that govern events, on that which is not immediately visible. Never lose sight of your long-term goals. With an elevated perspective, you will have the patience and clarity to reach almost any objective. And I don't want to get in, because there's always a piece that showcases this in real time, real history. So you could go ahead and read that. But for now, let's talk about how this turns into the wholesale thing. Let's go. The girl puts up, hey, I'm interested in learning about this wholesale thing. She sees the check. She says, hey, that too could be me. And I really wish I could go back to the post, but the person ran away. And I'll tell you why they ran away. So I come in, I comment under this young girl or whoever, I don't know, young, old, or whatever. It's just a screen name on the screen for me. I said, why don't you just go take a couple hours and research wholesaling, right? And you can find out exactly what to do. Go sit and talk to a broker. Connect with some people that are actually doing it in the real estate subreddit or something. There's things that you could do to kind of learn this game that you want to learn, except for going to this gentleman here. So that's all I said. Bro, why did I say that? Whoever posted, the original poster came back under me and he said, haha, you never closed any deals in your life and that's why you're mad. And what you're doing won't work anyway. I guess trying to say that the person already DM'd him or whatever, so they're connecting. I guess that's what he meant by that. So what I did after that, I took literally 1 minute. The two names that were on the check, I typed them out. I typed those two names on the check. I put it in Google. Boom, it comes up with a Facebook group of a known scam. The person had him in a chat, put the picture of the chat up, talked about the person. So all I did after that was say, is this you? Question mark with the link. After that, his entire Reddit was gone. The post was deleted. I mean, I can't find it anymore. It was like it disappeared from history now. So as soon as you call them out on their bullshit, they disappear. And that's really what happens. And that's why I built the Strizzy Report, because it's just about data, right? Like you could get data anywhere. You could literally take a weekend and learn which states have the best taxes for you, the best lifestyle, the best, retirement, the best for remote workers. Like you could go do that yourself. But I just make it easier and send it to you in an email every week or do these videos every week. But it just got me to thinking, why? Why do people just want that fast, get rich? And I think it's because we're always up against time. Now, the best moment of clarity that I had in my life ever, I can remember it clearly, was from 2017 to about 2015 to 2017. And a little before, a little after, right? It's because this is what happened when I got the most clarity. I turned off the news. I didn't care about anything that was happening. That wasn't the big picture on my own self-motivation and my own desires down the road, right? Working on myself. taking input in, like continuous list, just working on myself. Turned off the news, turned off the radio. I like stopped listening to rap, hip hop, anything that I considered was negative and was providing a negative frequency in my zone. I shut it down. I shut it down immediately. And I stopped. So I was in my own little bubble. And that's the time when I had the most clarity and I was super focused and super clear. It was like I was floating in the universe and I was attracting everything that I wanted. You know what I mean? So that's what the real law of attraction, when they talk about that, it's really what you invest and put in yourself, you see it in the outward universe. That is all that is. And it was the most beautiful time of my life, right? And I'm like, oh, I need to get back to that. And as you can see here, Robert Greene also stated, as far as clarity is concerned, and I just want to go back because that piece was just hitting like a ton of bricks when I was reading it. And it said here, it is the animal part of your nature to be most impressed by what you can see and hear in the present. Animalistic, okay? The latest news reports and trends. Like, if you could really get off of that, you will see that clarity comes to you in abundance. So let's talk about wholesaling for a minute. So I put out in 10 gems, and let's take a look at those 10 gems that I put out in the newsletter. So here's the latest newsletter where missed your shot. Here's where smart movers getting second chances. So I always give a little brief, get a little quiz, and we talked about Durham, North Carolina, this time in the newsletter. But always at the bottom of these newsletters, I always put a 10 gems. So let's get to it right here. Here it is. So I actually put tax liens and foreclosures where smart movers start small, right? Because I noticed that a lot of people are interested in this, but maybe they don't know where to go. And my goal is giving you the data so you know where to go so you don't have to fall for scams and such. So let's be honest, the squeeze is real and owning property cheap is still possible. If you know where to look, this week's 10 gems gives you a head start on buying tax delinquent and foreclosed properties. Remember, when you're doing tax liens, you're buying the debt. It's like a bond, right? You're buying the debt. You're getting interest on that debt over time until repayment. If they don't repay, you have to exercise foreclosure on that person, and you could possibly get the property after that. But the goal of tax liens is really an overtime passive income of interest from probably like 8% to 24%. So you're pretty much buying the debt and getting interest when the debt is paid off. Come on, like that's really what it is. Tax deeds is when you go to an auction and purchase the home, right? Purchase these properties. Foreclosures, you know that you're purchasing maybe via auction from the bank itself. So you own the home outright immediately for a tax deed, immediately for foreclosures. Tax deeds, you got to look at how the property is going to be in terms of the condition, right? You know, these people probably left the property for a long time and now it's going up for auction and all of these things. So you're going to have a little lump sum of money going into that. But here it is, understanding the basics. Start with your local county. Here's all the information that I give in the 10 gems this week. Next week, I don't know what the 10 gems are, but the 10 gems is usually about money saving, money investing, money moves, smart money moves, or even constricting moves, liquidity, whatever it is that, we're talking about. The first week we spoke about 10 gems, I believe that was in bankruptcy. Maybe a lot of people are unfamiliar with bankruptcy, unfamiliar. In fact, I could actually go to it right here and see what we spoke about right here. Bankruptcy. Find out if bankruptcy is the next move. And we just give you resources. We're not here to push you to anything. It's just about getting the data. proper data that takes you a couple of days to understand, ask the right questions, ask better questions, right? And then see where the next step is that you should do. So if you're going to bankruptcy because of the economic instability or the uncertainty in the economy, or you just tried everything else, I just made it clear here that, listen, it's one of the most American things you could do is filing for bankruptcy. From Walt Disney, 50 Cent, even President Trump, countless icons hit financial rock bottom before building their empires, or as a clean slate to start off. 2 chapters, 713. What's the differences? The repayment plan in chapter 13, 7 wipes most debt, but you have to do the means test. So this gives you all of that information, and I want people to smarten up themselves to get that information. Now, the other one is if you're filing for bankruptcy, the smart money move here is to get a side hustle. To the Smart Movers Club that way. All right. And here we go. And if you're part of the newsletter, you could go see these. You always have them. Here we go. And I'm not talking about literally door dashing and Ubering and what everyone's saying. It's like, okay, could you be an Airbnb co-host or a cleaner? Freelance, local research, pet sitting, digital product seller, notary public. I give you all the information. Used furniture and appliance flipper, van delivery, local freight, remote customer support agent, ghost writing for local businesses. So these are great side hustles that you could do from the comfort of your home or very local without, burning a liability and, maintenance on your car and all of these different things. You can actually use skills as a side hustle. So that's what I want to show you. So all in all, we need to get out of that animalistic mindset that following these trends and what's next. Oh my God. In fact, let me get back on video for this. Respect all the youngins out there that's really taking AI to the next level. Here's the thing though. VO3 did not come out 3 days, and there was already a hour-long video on how to make money with VO3. VO3, you could prompt, and a video spits out 8 seconds. If you're better at prompting, you could kind of keep a consistency within the videos, but you're paying. There's a $20 a month plan. There's a $250 a month plan. There's some specials going on, whatever. But basically, it's like 11 minutes a month that you get after all these 8-second videos come out. And this person was going in on how you could already become a millionaire or just at least doing business as a side hustle with VO3. Let the kinks kink out first, right? Let's be real. Like, we're jumping so fast on let's jump on here, that you're not becoming a expert on anything. Like, no one's an expert on anything. And the real deal, and I probably do this as the next 10 gems, is buying something that's already there, that's already stable, right? Like, what about buying businesses? What about, you don't think about, like, I know the idea of the laundromat, and I know the idea of, the car wash, yes, but I'm not even talking about that. If you could buy an online business that's already been there, has a good ARR, has some meat and potatoes. Maybe the person wants to go into something else. They're jumping to the next thing. Let's look into that. Let's stabilize something first and then move. I think as entrepreneurs, especially young online entrepreneurs, and you got Gary Vee in your ear, you got all these people in your ear, AI, y'all scared and shit. But remember what the human nature does. If you follow the trends, you're going to end up in the dead end. Right? So what could you learn and then become the expert at? So you are the thought leader behind something. So you actually know exactly what you're doing. And that's most important. The thing just came out 3 days. What the fuck are you going to make to build a business on this fake? Like, no media agency is going to hire you for 8 seconds when the continuity, we didn't even prompt yet. We didn't even learn the mechanism behind prompting really good to get consistent videos behind it. And I used VO3. In fact, I'm on it. Like, I paid for it, so I'm still learning it. But goddamn, if I put out a video right now and say, hey, this is what you can do with VO3, I'm just not there yet. And shout out to people that are there already, but I think more people are trying to sell you on something that's so new. Like, how could you already try to sell me on the shit? It just popped out. They get their glory from being salesmen, like from getting that wholesale deal with the check on there. That's where they get their money. The courses, the views. They don't actually get their money from utilizing the products. They never did, and some never will. They might have done one deal. They flipped that into a course now. How I made millions. No one has integrity anymore, especially on this online shit. There's no thought process. It just does its thing. And the fight or flight, like we got to survive all the time. Calm that down. Calm it down. All right. All right. So thank you for watching. Again, this was just a talk video. Things I've been seeing. If you're not already, join the Smart Movers Club. We move smarter. We groove smarter.